We have a real choice here. We can put teachers back in the classroom and off the unemployment line. We need them teaching again for the sake of our communities, of our children, and our future. I know the power, I just spoke on the Senate floor, I know the power of a teacher and what difference they can make. I know it in my own life. I was in high school. I was told that I had to take a speech class. I know some of my colleagues would find this amazing, but I was extremely introverted and did not want to take the speech class. I was an honors student, but I didn't want to take the speech class, and I was told by my guidance counselor, no, this is a mandatory course. And I said, well, I don't want to take it. And he said, well, you're getting it. I prepared my assignments every day for that speech class, but I wouldn't give up to deliver it. And finally, I'll never forget her, Gail Harper, who was my speech teacher, kept me after school one day and said, you know, Robert, you're preparing all of your work, looks pretty good, but if you don't get up and deliver it, you're going to fail. And my mother, who fled her own home, her own country, to come to freedom, and had aspired for me to be the first in my family to go to college, basically told me failure is not an option. And when Gail Harper said, you're going to fail, it really struck a bell with me. But more importantly, she worked with me to overcome the fear of standing before an audience and delivering that speech, and then to perfect the delivery of those remarks. She was is an incredible woman, and she made a huge difference in my life. I doubt very much that I would be speaking on the floor of the United States Senate but for Gail Harper. So teachers make an enormous difference in the lives of our young people. They fulfill their God-given potential. They unlock their abilities. And yet, at a time in which we say education is increasingly more important in a competitive world, we send messages that are totally opposite of that importance. We send them to schools that speak of a different value, and we cut back dramatically on the very educators who are the key to not only unlocking their God-given potential, but unlocking America's future in a more globally competitive world. That's why I'm not surprised that yesterday's CNN poll said 75% of Americans support providing funding to state and local governments to hire teachers and first responders, including 63% of Republicans. So we have a choice. It is a choice that, for me, is crystal clear. It's obviously crystal clear to America as those numbers dictate. Almost 300,000 education jobs are on the chopping block this year in this country, at a time that other countries in the world are increasing their teaching and educator ranks. We seem to be decreasing it. New Jersey alone, my home state, is facing a $10.5 billion shortfall in its 2012 fiscal budget. This means more cuts in state and local spending for education, which means our kids are hurt. The Teachers and First Responders Back to Work Act creates 400,000 education jobs because an investment in our teachers is an investment in our children. We're talking about $30 billion to states and local communities to retain, to hire, to rehire teachers that have already been laid off, and to educate tomorrow's entrepreneurs. In my home state of New Jersey, that bill would provide an additional $831 million. That means over 9,300 education jobs at a time that we have laid off over 6,000 teachers alone since 2008. And that knowledge gap that is created as a result of those layoffs is enormous. So it's time to get our teachers off the unemployment line and into the classroom educating our children, and that's what this legislation will do.